Hey guys, Jeremy Mansfield here again, back with my friend Jim Latimer and Tommy and Diane, family members of the Latimer family, and want to continue kind of the history and ask a little questions about Colonel Latimer and how important he was to American history, and especially being here in Sumner County, having this gem of a historical piece of your family's history, but also Sumner County and Revolutionary history.
The house that you see here behind us was built by Charles Latimer. He was the son of Colonel Jonathan Latimer. Jonathan came here in 1790, purchased 640 acres for 200 pounds, which is the equivalent of about $52,000 today. Now, if you could buy this farm and property for $52,000 today, you'd take your money and go home and be very happy. But for that time, it was a huge amount of money. So the family came from New London, Connecticut. Jonathan was born in 1724. He served in the French and Indian War for the king and country. He then took up arms for the new country in the American Revolution. He was present at Boston, Ticonderoga. He was extensively throughout New York. He's probably very lucky to make it out of New York alive. His commanding officer was captured in New York and died in a British prisoner of war camp. He was at White Plains, Long Island, Harlem Heights, Brooklyn, and then he escaped, and he was present after that at Saratoga. And at Saratoga, he commanded a group of 2 militia that helped to hold the flank on Washington's army at that time. And the Americans won their first victory of the Revolutionary War in that battle. That allowed the French to come into the war and side with the Americans, and it assured basically that the Americans would be able to have a country after that. The family after that moved here to the Tennessee frontier. He moved on with his 9 sons and 3 daughters, paid again 200 pounds for this piece of property. He deeded this to Charles in 1797. The house was built sometime then, maybe a little bit before, we're not for sure. His son-in-law, Bushnell, had gone ahead and come here before with a couple of his sons. And of course, they pictured this as, I think, the land of milk and honey, where you had plenty of things here. They didn't mention that there were people here that didn't necessarily want new neighbors. So they had to fight on the frontier once they got here. Tommy's ancestor, Witherell, one of Jonathan's sons, was at Buchanan Station. Diane and myself are descended from Charles, who built this house. Another son of his, Nathaniel, was killed at the Battle of Rock Island. After the things settled down here, the Latimers began to spread. He can also count one of his descendants as the 3rd signature on the Texas Declaration of Independence. And other names that are notable in the history, Nathaniel Hale was the school teacher for the children. He was the colonel's adjutant. Benedict Arnold was his friend and former commander. On Saratoga, Benedict Arnold had been sent back from the front to his tent. He heard the battle, took off. As he was galloping down the road, he said, "Whose men are these?" And they answered, "Colonel Jonathan Latimer." He said, "Tell him I'll see my old friend at the front." So if he had been killed there, he would have been probably remembered as one of the greatest heroes in American history. Things didn't play out like that. Down the road, the colonel encountered him again at New London. The English sent Benedict Arnold in to burn the town of New London, and the colonel was up against him there, and there was a great loss of material and people there, but another part in American history that is linked to this house.
Well, appreciate that, Jim. That's awesome to hear the history. I think it's important for Sumner Countyans to know that. Stay tuned for our next video. We're going to go a little bit more into the history of this land being purchased actually from by Sumner County for the Liberty Creek school system. Look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks.